Hello, good, well, it's afternoon here, but I don't know what it is when you watch this. But hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Umbriel, also known as maanknitwear over here on my YouTube channel and on Instagram. I have got to say welcome to a lot of new people. This is really cool. Brooke Willow sent a bunch of you guys over here. Brooke Willow is someone that I have followed for a long time. I watched her podcast and I won her giveaway of the Friends Fest Cal or Mal make along, which is super cool. And then she mentioned that she is subscribed to this channel, so thank you so much. Anna, that's super nice of you to mention that, because now a lot of people who watch her podcast have come over here, so welcome. I thought I would do a little bit of an introduction because I haven't done that in a really long time. So my name is Umbriel. I am located in the Netherlands. I am Dutch. My boyfriend is from Minnesota in the US, where I will be going in a few weeks. So he is currently over there for a short period of time, but we live in the Netherlands. And yeah, I have a full-time job. I work in the Netherlands. And what else is there to say about me? Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're having a conversation. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll answer them in the next podcast if there's anything that you're interested in. A little something for how I feel today. I am a little bit tired. I don't know about you guys, but I really started knitting to try to help my energy levels, like to sustain my energy levels. I'm a high sensitive person, so every time I am outside, I get a lot of input from the outside world. Everything like tires me out a lot. So I think I am like an extroverted person when I'm with people, but then I need a lot of time to readjust, reevaluate, and just calm down and not feel overstimulated again. So that's a little bit else about me. And today I went to a museum with my mom and my brother, which was super fun, but I was so tired. So I just came home. I watched a little bit of the Pomegranate Girl, who has a podcast. Her name is Annie. I was watching it and I was knitting, and then I thought, okay, time to film a podcast. So this is a little bit of a longer intro. Usually I don't do a long intro like this, but I felt like there's a lot of new people, and it's nice to share a little bit about myself. So what is a podcast? A podcast, I show my finished objects, I show my works in progress, and then I talk a little bit about what's coming up or what I am planning to do knitting related. So everything will be knitting or crocheting related. Today I'll have one project of crocheting. So I'll just get started because I have been very productive. Like I said, my boyfriend is not currently here, so I noticed that I have a lot more time to knit, which is great. And I made myself like a vase of tea. Are you guys also a person that drinks tea out of a vase? Because I do, always. I love this one. And it's currently just the perfect temperature, so I might just drink a little bit more of that. So I just grabbed these, so I'll just start with that one. I have finished my test knit for Knits and Fika, which is my friend over on Instagram. And it's this little like shawl. I'll try to put it on. I'm not really sure yet how to wear this, but this is pretty much how that works, right? I have tested it the Anytime Anywhere shawl number 4 of her. I've test knitted this shawl for her. She is gonna release like a bundle of 4 like easy shawl patterns, which I think is really cool. And this one has 2 different colors, which made me really like it a lot. I blocked it. It is a lot bigger than I thought when I was like had it on the needles, which is amazing. And yeah, I think it looks really nice. It's just made with yarn overs, and that's pretty much all you need to know. So it's super easygoing, and I really like test knitting this. I finished it in just like a few days of like evening knitting. The only thing that took a while was the cast off, because she did a like special kind of cast off here, which is really cool. And the yarn that I was using is my leftover merino from Knitting for Olive in the colorway Dusty Artichoke that I made my sweater number 15 in. Because I said in that video, I don't know if you remember, if you watched it, that I ran out of my mohair super quickly, but I still had a bunch of merino left, so I almost had a full skein. And then I had this leftover from what I'm wearing that I haven't showed you yet, but I got this leftover from my Sassy Classy crop top, which is this cute little crop top that I made, which is from maanknitwear Bush. I'm currently test knitting the t-shirt version, long sleeved t-shirt version of this one, but I'll show you that one later. I still had this cotton merino of Knitting for Olive left over, so I used that together with this. So this is the contrast color, and that made this beautiful little scarf. So I don't know if this is like anything that I actually wear. Yes, but I just thought it was so cute. So if I was gonna have a shawl, look, I can even put it in my hair and just put it like that, like a little bandana. Yeah. Okay, well, first finished object. I think it was so quick, and you do have a FO, so it would also be a really nice little like palette cleanser, which is like a little thing to do between your projects, to like refresh. First finished object. The second finished object is this bear paw sock, and I'm just gonna leave it with this one for now because I need the needles for my current test knit that I just said, the Sassy Classy shirt, because I knit these on 3.25mm needles. These are the Bear Paw Socks by Andrew Mowry, and I've made a bunch of these. So this was my 7th sock, my first sock of the 4th pair, and I was making these for my boyfriend, and I think it looks really nice. So I held 2 yarns together in this part, and a self-striping yarn and a blue yarn, so this one. Yeah, I'll show you this one later again when I actually finish it, when I finish the other one, but that will be in a while because I first need to finish that other project. So I'll just put that over here. I'll mention it again later and talk about it more, but it's the Bear Paw Socks, and I love that pattern. I saw some of you guys were talking to me in the comments about how you love Bear Paw Socks too, which I think is really nice. Maybe we can just like have a little club of people who just make Bear Paw Socks, because I've been making so many, and I've been wearing the pair that I made for myself all the time, so maybe I just need to make another pair for myself. Yeah, they're kind of like house slippers, and it's super nice because they're knit on DK weight yarn, so knits up super quickly. Yeah. Then some of you guys might have seen it already, but my video last week was about my first video in the series where I do knitting down my acrylic yarn stash, because I have a significant amount of acrylic yarn and I want to like make up projects, so I use that yarn instead of that it's just like hanging out. First it was hanging out in my basement. If you've watched the video, then you'll know. I'll link it up here or up there, I think up here. I'll link the little video up there. It's the first part of knitting down my acrylic yarn stash, and here is my first finished object. So I used acrylic yarn for this black. This is the Boulevard Bag by Lily Kate Designs, and it's this super clever handbag, and I'll put it on. So here it is. Ta-da! It's this really nice, cute little handbag that you knit flat. So you knit two like identical pieces. I won't say too much about it because the construction is pretty clever. But yeah, you knit it and you knit this. You change the colors to knit this like little tuck section, and then later on you put in tie wraps, and then you knit the band separately, which I knit in cotton because then it's more like durable, more sturdy. And I held two colors held together for this, and I talk about all of this project basically in that video. So I don't want to be too repetitive for the people who have watched it. But yeah, I really like this, and it will be coming in handy because I'm going on a little trip in 2 days. So you'll actually be watching this after my trip because I didn't want to stop like posting videos in the meantime. So I'm already recording this one to come out on a later date. But look how cute. It's made with a lot of short rows, and it was actually pretty hard on my hands, especially the purling because it's knit flat. So you hold a lot of different strands of yarn together on a relatively small needle. So it really like it hurts your hands having to knit in that tight of a gauge, but it does create this beautiful, beautiful handbag. I'm really happy with it. And I sewed together everything. She includes a little video on how to assemble the bag, which is super followable, easy to follow. So half moon shaped Boulevard bag. So yeah, super nice. I think that's where all my finished objects for this episode, but I have been working on a lot of different things at the same time. So I finished those things. At first I want to show you my Camisole number 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear that I am knitting in this beautiful copper colorway, which is like a leftover yarn that they sold on Color Mart. Color Mart is this website where you can get super discounted yarn, which is great. And this is 30% cashmere and 70% merino, so pretty good deal. And you get like a fingering weight yarn. Yeah, it's great. So I've had enough left over because I used it for another sweater that I made, but I already talked about this in my previous episode, so I don't want to say exactly the same stuff. But I am, well, I didn't really get that much farther because I wanted to pay attention to some other projects like the Boulevard bag. But I finished the double knit border or collar, and then I made a lot of progress on the back. I'm almost there where I can join the front and the back together, and then it will just be smooth sailing, knitting it around. But yeah, I think it looks super nice, and I'm super excited to start wearing this. So I better make some progress, although I don't know if I'll make this, like I'll finish it before I'm going on my big holiday. So when I'm going to the US, I was hoping to finish it, but on the other hand, this is like 100% wool because it's cashmere merino, and I'll be in Minnesota in the summertime and it will be hot. I think, like hot and humid. I haven't been there in the summertime yet, so if anyone has some ideas about what I should expect in terms of wearing summer knits, please let me know. Like in the Midwest, I don't know, in like Minnesota, those kind of states. Let me know what the weather is like so I can prepare, because I think 100% wool top is not going to be super nice to wear. I think it will be a little bit too hot. Yeah, but I'll see. And otherwise I have a lot of other knitted summer tops where I'll make a video about all the knitted tops that I have made, like summer patterns, summer tops, where I will talk about how wearable they are and how much I would like to knit them again, and how the yarn is holding up and that kind of stuff. So keep an eye out for that one. I think it will release soon after this podcast. So yeah, camisole number 5. I really want it, but it has to wait a little bit before other things that I want to finish before this one. So that's just the way it works. So it's gonna have to wait. So that's my camisole number 5. Then I have some other stuff that I was making and I lost. Oh yeah, here it is. So I showed you this in my last podcast, and I'm just gonna put it on. This is my Croknit vest, which is a pattern that I'm working on, which combines crochet and knitting. I'll get up so you can see. I'm wearing my favorite pants, which are my zebra pants. But this is my Croknit vest, and as you can see, I have like done the little arm border, which is knitted. And then this whole part is crocheted. I started the button band, but I was like, okay, I need to do a smart way of making a double knit button band, because I didn't want to make it too complicated. So I was really thinking of how I can make a double knit button band as accessible as possible. So then I did something that made it not stick to the other side, so it's coming loose. So basically I was just like, yeah, it's really hard to explain, but I failed. Let's just keep it there. I failed, and I just had this moment of realization that I'm actually just talking to my phone in a room in my house. That's the reality of knitting podcasting. Like, I have yarn around me everywhere, projects around me everywhere, and I'm just talking to my phone. I want to have this feeling of like I'm talking to people, because I am talking to people. I'm talking to you who's watching this. So thank you so much for watching this. So, but I just had this, like, if someone would walk in that door right now, they would be like, what are you doing? Okay. Anyway, now I lost my train of thought completely. Button band. I failed. Button band failed, ripped it out. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to think about it anymore. Because I was also thinking maybe to make a neutral version. So maybe when it's in testing, I would make like a white or a beige, like a off-white version. And then I wanted to make one of them with a ribbing button band and the other one with a double knit button band. But because this one is already pretty busy, it would be nice to have the double knit button band on this one. But then I first had to figure it out. And then I had all these other things that I was working on, and I was like, never mind. And then I just like threw it on the couch. Like, okay, just not think about it anymore. So that's what happened to it. But now that I'm like wearing it, I'm like really excited about it again. And I think it looks so nice. So I'm pretty excited to have this finished. It will be like wearable as a little like top, like a summer top. That's the idea, that you can just have the buttons closed and then just tucked into your pants or whatever you're wearing. So that's the Croknit vest, my little update on the Croknit vest. Yeah. So it will be really nice, I think. Yeah, I think it will be. Okay. And some of the yarn, so I'm using, I didn't talk about the yarn. I'm using DK weight or Aran weight, I guess. Cotton yarn from Hobby, which is like the same yarn that I used for this. So you can see this one is one of these strands. This is 2 strands held together. And the other strand is like this one, which is from We Are Knitters. Can't say that anymore, can you? There's this like silly thing that you always have to say if you make something from We Are Knitters, from yarn from We Are Knitters. I bought it before the Sarah scandal. But are we past that point now? Do we have to mention that anymore? What do you think? If you know what I'm talking about, then you know. Otherwise, I don't really want to go into it. But anyway, this is these 2 yarns held together. So the like variegated yarn and this one. And they're both a DK weight yarn or an Aran weight yarn, I guess. And then for some of them, I had a fingering weight or maybe a sport weight. Cotton yarn held double. So for the white and navy, I did that. So I just really wanted to like use all of these different colors that I had. That makes this like primary color palette. Yeah. Okay, now I think I said enough about it. Then I have my next, and this will be out in a few weeks, I think, depending on how fast I finish this. But I am making, oh, it's so cute. Oh, I am making the festival sweater. And this is the regular festival sweater because this is a pattern by Petite Knit. And it comes in kids version, which is the festival sweater. Then you have the festival sweater baby, which is for babies. And then you have the festival sweater my size, which is for adults. Because she is referring to herself as my, so. And I don't think there's a men's version, but correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm making the kids version this is for my second part of my acrylic de-stash or stash down yarning, knitting, not yarning. See, told you I'm tired. But anyway, this is for the second part, and I am making a cute little festival sweater for my boyfriend's niece. It's not technically his niece, but it's his cousin's daughter. So I think it's really cute. She was born in December, so she will be, when I give it to her, she'll be like half a year old, so 6 months, because I'll be there really soon. And this is the first size of the regular festival sweater, which the first size is a 1 to 2 year old size for 1 to 2 year olds. And I think it will be too big for her because she's obviously not 1 year old yet, but it will be perfect for the winter, and otherwise she can just wear it in a few years. I don't really care. It's nicer if I make something that's more for the future than it is for that it will be too small too quickly. So yeah, and I already had this pattern. I hadn't made it yet. I started it before in a different color, but I really like this one, and it's just so cute. I'm using this blue acrylic yarn, which is from Hobby. makes me sneeze. And for the main color, and then this lilac and pink for the contrast stripes. So yeah, super nice. It knits up so quickly. I did this in like 3 days or something, which I also did other stuff, I think. Did I? I don't know. But welcome to the chaotic channel. So yeah, I think this is super nice, and I'll be finishing it up super soon. But if you want to know more about it, then make sure to watch out for that video, where I'll be sharing the whole progress that I made the thing in. Okay, then I'm steaming through everything, which is nice, I think. The long-awaited talk about the t-shirt version of this top. So this is the Sassy Classy crop top by Anne-Catherine Bush, which I think she was married and she changed her last name. So I think I saw that in emails, but I don't know. I don't know that much about her. But it is dark. It's in dark yarn, so you can't really tell what I'm showing you. I'll first talk about the yarn. I'm using Knitting for Olive Merino, which is a fingering weight yarn from Knitting for Olive in the colorway navy blue or marine blah. Blah or bleu? Marine bleu. No? Oh. There we go. Marine bleu. Doesn't matter. Okay, this one, which is 100% extra fine merino traceable non-molestic Oecotex standard 100. So just so you know. And I had this yarn in stash. I bought it a long time ago with the fundraiser for the from the Red Cross for that Knitting for Olive did for the war in Ukraine. And I bought this yarn. I think I bought also the yarn for my sweater number 15, which is now finished. This yarn and the mohair, I bought that one, and I think that was it. And I was thinking to make a sweater number 15. I'm going on a little rant here, but that's okay. I went through everything really fast, so I can talk a little bit about some other stuff. So I was thinking of making a sweater number 14, which is also by my favorite things knitwear, which is a like ribbed sweater, which is like tight and has a high neck and it has stripes. And I also still had this other yarn, and I see it right there. So just give me 1 second. See how fast that was. See how my yarn is just everywhere. I also had this yarn left over, which is the Knitting for Olive Merino in the color Have Green, which I bought in the yarn D-stash. And I thought, oh, that's really cool. I can like stripe with those two colors, but I still haven't started it. I haven't bought the pattern or anything. And then I saw this photo that I'll show you, and I think I talked about it in my last podcast, but I saw this photo of Anne-Catherine wearing this top, but then in a long sleeved top, like t-shirt, long sleeved t-shirt version. And I knitted this one last year. I think I talked about it in my very first podcast, or like the second one, but my first one was like, I don't know if you watched it. I'm sorry. But I made this in like May last year. So I think like exactly a year ago. It's super nice. I love it. And then I saw that t-shirt version and I thought, oh yeah, navy blue, here we go. Also because navy blue looks really nice on me, I've noticed. Every time I wear navy blue, people are like, oh, you look really nice. So I'm like, I figured it out. That's the color that looks good on me. That's something that you don't realize when it's just like stuff you wear, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, so I just started it, and I already said I'm going on a little holiday in 2 days, and I'll just bring this one and one other project that I'll talk about in a second. So I will be making a lot of progress then. So if you are watching this, Anne-Catherine, which I don't think you are, don't worry. I will finish it on time because I'll have all the knitting time on that trip. I am going to Scotland with a friend of mine. I'll first go, so we'll take the Eurostar train from Rotterdam, which is a direct train leaving actually from Amsterdam, but it will stop in Rotterdam and in Brussels, and it will go directly to London. So we'll go to London with the train, visit a friend who is living there. I'll gift her these socks that I talked about in my previous podcast, which is still lying here. That's how bad it is here. Yarn everywhere. And then we'll be leaving for Scotland. We will be, this will be all in the past. When you watch this, I will already be back. We'll go to Glasgow, and then we'll be hiking in the park north of it, which is called something like Trossachs Lakes Park or something. And we'll be staying in a couple of different towns there, and we'll be hiking from town to town. So we'll be just taking a bus to one town and then like hiking to the next hotel, basically. So we'll take the train also from London to Glasgow, which is like 5 hours, I think. So a lot of knitting time, which is perfect. And the train from Rotterdam will also be a lot of knitting time. So yeah, that will be super nice, and we'll be hiking and like being in nature, which I love. So yeah, we'll be doing that. And then when I come back, I'll be leaving for the US like 2 weeks after that. So crazy amount of holidays coming up in the near future, which is super nice. And I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. So I'll be working on my Sassy Classy shirt, which is the test knit for Anne-Catherine. I don't know if I even mentioned that it's a test knit. It is a test knit. It's not out yet, the pattern. So I was selected to test for her, and I'm making the size large. I also made a gauge swatch, but it's in the living room, so I don't have it here right now. And I was testing out which size needles to use. And I have a little question for you guys, because when you gauge swatch in ribbing, I find it really hard to gauge swatch in anything else than like, okay, I made a gauge swatch here for another project, but this is like okay to gauge swatch in. But once I have like ribbing, like this is kind of ribbing like horizontal ribs, but the vertical ribbing like this, you know, it's really hard to gauge swatch because you can't really stretch out your swatch as much as your, like, the thing you wear will actually stretch out. So I feel like it's not really representable to make a little gauge swatch, because the like rib will just shrink it right in. So I feel like it almost is like there's no use in like gauge swatching, because you can always stretch it out to more stitches. You can always scrunch it into scrunch it into more stitches, or stretch it out to less stitches per 10 centimeters, which I think is not the same with stockinette, because if you have stockinette, you just like lay it flat and you like push it out a little. That's at least how I do it. Like push it out a little, and then you have like a more of a actual, yeah, I don't know. Do you understand what I mean? Like, does that make sense to how could you really do a proper gauge swatch in ribbing? It doesn't really make sense to me. But anyway, I tried out the 3mm needle, the 3.25mm needle, and the 3.5mm needle. This one seemed to get the closest to what I needed. So she also said to like stretch it completely out. So I think that's why she put that in the pattern to do the gauge swatch in. And I also like the fabric the most with this. Plus I made this top in a 3.25mm needle, which I really like the fabric of. So, and that's how I can use my 3.25 for that second bear paw sock, because I thought, oh nice, I'll bring the second sock of that one and this top to Scotland, and then I can just like knit on one, knit on the other one. But now I need that one for this. I mean, I need the 3.25 for the Sassy classy shirt, and I can't use it for my second bear paw sock, but that's okay. So yeah, next time you see that one, it will be a very much further done. Yeah. Then I wanted to add one other thing. So as I said, I'm going to be traveling, and I was thinking it would be nice to have like a stockinette, simple thing that I don't have to think about too much. Maybe after like walking all day or knitting in the dark or whatever. So I am going to make a Mussleburgh hat, which is kind of weird because it's almost summertime, but I have been thinking about making a top. The main thing that I wanted it to be was mostly stockinette. And I've had this yarn in stash for a really long time. I bought this in Duluth in Minnesota from this really nice yarn shop. And it is Malabrigo Arroyo in the colorway 005 Anniversario. Anniversario? I don't know. It's a DK/sport weight yarn. 100 grams is 306 meters or 335 yards. So I'm gonna be making a Mussleburgh hat in either 3.5mm or a 4mm needle, and I'm gonna be using the whole thing. Also felt like I should have, I don't know, I wanted to have knit this yarn before going back to the US, because I feel a little ridiculous that I bought this a year and a half ago in the US and I haven't used it yet. And I want this in a hat because I think it will look super nice. So that's one of my plans. Yeah, that's one of the plans that I'm bringing. So I'm going to be knitting on this and a Sassy Classy shirt, and that's it. I'm not going to bring more. Although I might buy some yarn there because I'll be in London and in Glasgow. And I was wondering if anyone of you guys is from there. If you are and you know any recommendations for yarn shops. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, never mind. Because I'll be posting this after my trip. Okay, never mind. It will be too late. So don't let me know, because then I know what I missed out on. I feel like this was a very chaotic episode. So I'm sorry for that. I did share a lot more about me. So if you appreciated that, please let me know, because I don't know. It's like you're still talking to strangers on the internet. You know, like I know a lot of you guys, I feel like I'm getting like this bond with, especially people who have like commented on all my videos, which is super nice. Hi. Or hoi. Yeah, but still it feels a little weird to share all of this personal information, because anybody could just start watching these videos. So yeah, please let me know if that is appreciated or not, because then I know what I can do in my next videos, how I can like behave. I don't know. Yeah, so I think that was everything that I wanted to share for now. I hope to see you in my next podcast. There will be another podcast before I leave for the US. And as you have noticed, probably I have been putting out videos every week. So I'll link one of the videos that I put out since my last podcast. And then I hope to see you in my next video. All right.